Hey, J Shrimp, thanks for the 21 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. All right. The key to not being disappointed in life is maintaining low expectations. So I would like to go into this league by setting a couple, I would like to put my cards on the table. As just for the sake, my cards are on the table. I think this deck is generally speaking worse than playing Red-Green Titan Shift because I think in large part this deck is being less linear for the sake of being more interactive, and in general being less linear and more interactive is not what you want to be doing in Modern. That being said, this deck's 1,000 times sweeter than the kind of brain dead linear gameplay that Titan Shift has. Titan Shift is very good, but it's also very straightforward. You just play your ramp spells and cast your Titans or your Scapeshifts and they die. So this deck has Lightning Bolts and Ice-Fang Coatls and Cryptic Commands as interaction. We got some Remands as well. And then we don't have Titans, but we've got 4 copies of Drawn from Dreams here to help us find more answers and copies of Scapeshift. We've got some Sakura-Tribe Elders and some Search for Tomorrows as some ramp and some ops and some extra filtering. So let's go ahead and dive on into a league here with this one and see how it goes. You'll like this one. I was curious how gifted subs work on mobile, so I clicked through. Then I stopped and Google had me a message saying if I spent over $4, they'd give me $1 back. It's funny because that's how much they charge for the transaction. Weird. Search for Tomorrows are 3-drop. Really? Yeah, this deck was really sweet with Dig Through Time. You could definitely write a computer program to play Red-Green Titan Shift. The question would be, what optimal level would it be playing it at? That you could get it to. Pretty easy mulligan here. Double Scapeshift sucks. No ramp is pretty bad. Yep. Feels like magic. All right. This hand's pretty good. Throw back these two. One of the things that really sucks about this Scapeshift deck is that this deck does not mulligan well because it's what I refer to as a critical mass deck. It's a deck that in order to combo, you need 7 to 8 lands in play. So like every card you're down really hurts. I really hope some of the sweet emerge creatures are some of the first things they give us into Historic Marty. Like, give me Filigree Familiar, and Octodad, and Distended Mindbender. These are a few of my favorite things. No, Mage. I don't think... The Death and Taxes is good in Legacy because they have absurd resource denial in the form of their lands. And that same level of resource denial, it just doesn't exist in Modern. Leonin Arbiter is not really a constructed playable card. It is too frequently a 2-2. Leonin Arbiter is the type of card where people get so wrapped up in the games where it wins them the game on the spot that they don't realize that, like, a lot of the time it's just doing nothing. Legacy was good this morning. Chalice of the Void decks are great. Super, super powerful. You got him. He's been pushed off a cliff. Can I get a flavor judge ruling on pushing a flying snake off a cliff? I hope we get some more sweet creature lands printed into Historic too. Can we print Nantuko Monastery into Historic? Is this one too good? This one might be too good. I would like to formally request Nantuko Monastery be considered for addition to Historic. Flying Snake, I choose you. Alright, drawn from Dreams is some real card advantage, and so is Cryptic Command, so let's draw a blue source next turn and then cast one of these. If you push it hard enough in the wings to prevent it from flying, you're good. Fair. Yeah, green source works too. That's true. Yay! Yay! Filter lands! Ah, filter lands! So, this Flooded Grove here, for those not familiar, takes a green as an input and can output double blue. So this plus this will make blue-blue. This is a third blue. So our Cryptic Command is online. Maltmeister, thank you for the 16 months of support. I appreciate that. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch. Thanks for continuing to send your Bezo bucks this way. Keeping me around. I wonder how these lands would work with the auto tap around Arena. I guess they probably wouldn't be too bad, huh? Because what's it called? The Planeswalker land is basically a filter land, and we have that on Magic Arena, right? So that's a thing that exists. For those who aren't familiar with Scapeshift math, the way it works in Modern is that a 7-land Scapeshift will deal... A 7-land Scapeshift will deal 18 points of damage, and 8-land Scapeshift will deal 36 points of damage, assuming you have enough mountains remaining in your deck to make that happen. So if they don't kill us and we just run off 2 more lands here, we kill them with Scapeshift in 2. Check out some of our options here. Might be greedy to bottom that, considering we're getting attacked by the Snapcaster Mage, but I'd really prefer to just, like, hit running lands here. And, like, I have this Remand, too, so, like, if I opt into a land with the Remand, I'm pretty likely to find another one that way. Like, pretty sure they're choked on red, so let's just do this. Sweet. So I get 3 looks at a land here, and then the opponent's archetype, generally speaking, does not play hard counters like Negate or Disdainful Stroke in the main. They do play Stubborn Denial, but that requires a 4+ power creature. So unless they also drew a Death Shadow or a Gurmag Angler this turn, I don't have to worry about Stubborn Denial countering my Scapeshift next turn. Yeah, Valakut is how you kill them, holy guacamole. So you don't have to sacrifice all of your lands, Mage. So to deal the full damage, you have to have 6 mountains left in your deck, but you can just, you could just Scapeshift for like 5 mountains, leaving one of your existing mountains in play. Six land Scapeshift does nothing. Because Valakut doesn't deal damage until you have 6 mountains. Now, Sakura-Tribe Elder technically lets us kill them with Scapeshift next turn, but it lets us kill them with Scapeshift while losing to a Stubborn Denial. So that's not ideal. I'm actually going to go ahead and fetch here so I don't lose the double stub. When Scapeshift was originally printed, it basically didn't do anything. To clarify, for the person who's asking, what did Scapeshift do originally? Thanks for the very generous tier 3. I appreciate the dealer's choice points. Welcome back. Alright, so how many mountains are in this deck? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mountains. So I have 3 in play, so there's 7 mountains in my deck. When Scapeshift was originally printed, landfall wasn't a mechanic. Landfall wasn't a mechanic until Zendikar. So Valakut says, when a mountain enters play under your control, if you control 5 other mountains, it does 3 damage to target creature or player. So just like when you Scapeshift with Field of the Dead, all of these mountains enter simultaneously, so all of them trigger Valakut because they're all entering with 5 other mountains. You think so, Tree? I don't know that the arena UI is that much better. I feel like it's not really that much better. Like the fact that the Moto one, it doesn't open fully kind of sucks, but like if Magic Online would just remember how big my library window is supposed to be, I think it would be better. So it's good thing we stole game 1 here, because this matchup's pretty hard for us. Basically, matchups where my lightning bolts aren't meaningful removal tend to be really hard for the deck that we're playing. And this is definitely one of those matchups. We actually have Kiora in here as a piece of soft removal for their bigger creatures. And I think I'm going to put in Dispel and Force of Negations as ways to fight through their counterspells a little bit. Because post board, they're likely to have some more counters past their stubs. I think I want Stroke for Angler. Yeah, maybe that's better than Bolt. I could see that. You know, I don't hate that. Remand is also like soft removal for Gourmet Gangler or soft counter. So, 1, I think you keep most hands against decks full of discard spells that have lands and spells. 2, in this archetype especially, you're a critical mass deck, so you want to keep most things. This hand's like pretty okay. Like, Ice-Fang Coatl's not bad in this matchup. This was a very good draw. Yeah, suspend search on one. This deck would probably play 8 copies of search if it could. Cards busted. Wait, did they miss a land drop? Alright, that's pretty good for us. I hide my camera when I have to blow my nose. Well, while that might be some people's kink, that is not what this channel is here for. I'm not shaming your kink, I'm just telling you you're not going to get it satisfied here. So if that's what you're into, by all means, just be aware that this channel is not here to enable it. Yeah, a lot of those decks have been playing Field of the Dead. Sandals is pretty stock these days. It is a timeout channel. We do aim to please in terms of timeouts. My plan of drawing useful spells at some point has so far not come to fruition. If they have a Stubborn Denial in their hand, we're probably dead at this point. Have any takes on Mardu Shadow? I have no idea. I've not played with Mardu Shadow. I do know Stubborn Denial is a heck of a card. He says as he gets beat down by a 5/5 while his opponent. While our opponent never plays a second land and destroys us, I'm going to articulate that Stubborn Denial is very good. Kiora's a good draw. Kiora. Modern staple Kiora the Crashing Wave has resolved. Of course, Grath. Thank you for the biddies. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a good one. We are one mountain away from starting to naturally trigger Valakut, so that's sweet. Kiora here is a piece of soft removal. Prevent all damage to target that would be dealt to and dealt by target permanent. And then if this survives 2 more turns, we get to emblem her. Rock the Pirate. Thanks for the 15 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Remand's actually a pretty good draw here. Oh, you know what? It's tough here. Maybe I'm supposed to play the island, because if I remand into a Cryptic Command, I won't be able to cast it now. Yeah, the modern staple emo turned out real good. Just keep missing on lands so this remand does something, please. Oh! Are we gonna win a la Kiora? I think we're gonna get a Crashing Wave victory, chat. Do 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 do. Her emblem for 5 makes a 9/9 Kraken at the end of every one of our turns. Unleash the Kraken. Unleash the Kraken. Crackalack, don't come back. We were in trouble, and then we resolved Kiora the Crashing Wave. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Welcome to the danger zone, opponent. Population, you. Stop it. Crack-a-lack, don't come back. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Anybody else feel like squid? Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, that's actually a really good question. I guess I have 4 Ice-Fang Coatls, right? They like need to kill through Ice-Fang. I do. Let's get shout out to our opponent for letting us attack with the Crack-a-lack in. Shoutouts for letting us get the Kraken attack in. How we doing, folks? Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for dropping in here today. If you're a new viewer, my name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream Magic full-time here on Twitch. We play some Modern or Legacy every single morning to start things off, and we play some Standard on Magic Arena in the afternoons. As always, I'd love to give a shout-out to wonderful folks like Ectomaniac there. Thank you for the 10 months. My wonderful subs. I wouldn't be here din and yet without their support. They're the folks that keep me employed. I'd also like to plug a couple of my wonderful sponsors here really quick. The Nerd Rage Gaming Championship Series is a $5,000 cash tournament series that happens every single month in the Midwestern United States. If you can't make it out to the Midwest to play in one of their Standard, Modern, or Legacy tournaments, you can find their streaming coverage as well at twitch.tv/NRG Series. BCW Supplies, the only ones I trust to protect my paper TCG cards, using code Jeff10 at bcwsupplies.com. You can save 10% on sleeves, binders, deck box, and all sorts of other fantastic gaming accessories there with them. Boosted Twitch, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Welcome. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month and keeping me employed. Cardsphere.com is a peer-to-peer trading network that would love to help you turn your cards into other cards directed to their players. There's no haggling, and they just take a 1% fee off the top. And, of course,
don't make your life garbage time. Join us in Hoaglandia today by subscribing to Jeff Hoagland with Twitch Prime today.
So if you're one of the many folks in the world who has Amazon Prime there, like Boosted Twitch, if you link your Amazon account to your Twitch account, you get Twitch Prime included with that for free. And Twitch Prime gets you a free channel subscription every single month to a channel of your choice here on Twitch. Even if you're not going to sub to my channel with it, if you have Amazon Prime, make sure you link that up and send it somewhere. Think of it as taking dollar dues from Bezos, who has plenty of them, and giving to some small creator here on Twitch. Azandra, thank you for the 7 months. I appreciate it. Of course we can get you a timeout. I see you shuffling a Kikijiki and a Pestermite while we're waiting for this match to pop. So these are some of my shuffling cards here on my desk. We have some Birds of Paradise, a Court of Calling, a Scissor Lizard, a Nantuko Monastery, a Togumon, a Vicious Dryad, a Heracross, a Kikijiki. There's not a Pestermite in here though. There's a squirrel token and a wolf token. You know. Hey, MTG Snipe, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for the 14 months, Mimost. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Can I ask why people ask for timeouts? So, the asking for timeouts is an old meme on this channel. We'll teach you a little bit of Hoaglandia's heritage here this morning. So once upon a time, before we were big enough to have a sub-only chat, in order to keep the chat focused and on target, I would, and my mods would, we would aggressively time people out who weren't just offensive or rude, but posted off-topic or lazy comments that weren't really well thought out. And this is a very different culture than a lot of other places on Twitch. And lots of people got really upset that they were unable to chat for 10 minutes at a time. And they would basically throw temper tantrums. So to make fun of the people who got really upset that they got timed out in my Twitch chat, a lot of the regulars started asking for complimentary timeouts. It happens. We've been in sub-only mode long enough now that it doesn't happen as often when people bring up my stream. But when my stream would get mentioned basically anywhere outside of this channel, you would always be able to find people complaining about how we moderated the chat. People have strong senses of entitlement. And then, as someone who's capable of critical thinking skills, the one that would equate not being able to talk in my private Twitch chat as a violation of their freedom of speech, those were the ones that really cracked me up because they were extra sad. It's like, you don't understand what freedom of speech actually means, friendo. It just runs slow enough that it's really tedious punch-worthy. I also have to, like, make a special exception with MTGO traders to get enough cards to even play it. So I don't think I'm super interested in trying to fumble through that. I'm gonna go ahead and flash this in now. Yeah, largely logistical issues. So, just to touch on my schedule for people, because I assume a lot of people here now enjoy Magic Online content. I've mentioned this a couple times. Between now and rotation, I'm going to be doing 2 Magic Online leagues every morning. And Wednesday this week, there's an arena update. So rather than cross my fingers and hope that arena updates properly, I'm just going to do all Magic Online on Wednesday this week. This is a standard staple drawn from Dreams here. The old dig through fish. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab Sakura-Tribe Elder and a forest here. I'll grab Flooded Grove. Then I can play this tapped, and then we can actually kill them next turn, right? We can sack Sakura-Tribe Elder, get our 7th land, and then cast Scapeshift for lethal. Oh, that's true. Their current health total is at a point where I can't kill them with Scapeshift. That's very true. Sunayumi. Sunayumi. Nah, I'm pretty sure it's Sunayumi. Thanks for the 8 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Alright. Don't queller me, bro. Thanks, Full Metal. Will do. I appreciate it. Oh, I missed a donation. I'm such a turd. My cat is now attacking your mouse, so thank you for providing entertainment for her as well. And Trax, thanks for the host. Welcome to folks coming over from there. So this mana base is trying to support Ice-Fang Coatl. So in order to get Death Touch on Ice-Fang Coatl consistently, we can't afford to play something like Field of the Dead. So either they're AFK or they don't have the Spell Queller. So we say no, so you can pay 2 life for these, but they will still enter tapped, because Scapeshift. But I just wanted to see the mountains, not unreasonable. I want to play Bant Company and Historic with Spell Queller and Tracker. Yeah, I hope we get Queller into Historic. Queller is one of my favorite cards. Although, I also kind of hope, if they print Queller into Historic, I do hope they kind of ban Jace. Because Queller plus Jace is pretty obnoxious. I think I just want all these Doomblades. Pretty sure Cryptic Command. Teferi. I meant Teferi. I meant the one he combos with. You're right. Definitely said Jace. Meant Teferi. Remand's pretty mediocre here. Rest of this seems fine. Yeah, Teferi plus Spell Queller is like good enough for Modern. Hey, Deggles, thanks for the 7 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Do you have any suggestions for sideboard cards against Titan Shift? No, not really. The matchup's just pretty much a race. Peak Modern. Win your die roll, kill them before they kill you. The fact that I think, if I recall, Ross's deck list was off of Anger and playing, yeah, the fact that he's on Bolts and doesn't have Anger in his main. Does he not have Anger in his 75? There's only 1 Anger. If people are copy and pasting Ross's list, that matchup's really reasonable for Elves. There are 3 mana sweepers are the things that would give you trouble and you'd still occasionally win through them. If they just have spot removal, you're going to race them most of the time. Yeah, the fact that we had Ice-Fang there to trade with the Batterskull Germ, so we only let them gain 4 was really relevant there. If they would have been at 21, the 7-land Scapeshift would not have killed them, because 7-land Scapeshift only deals 18. It's fine. Anger's pretty good here. I work in news radio. Should I put Jeff on the air and get fired? I recommend against getting fired because then you can't afford to sub here anymore. Unless you'd still be able to afford to sub after getting fired, and then you do you. I'm just trying to look out for you, okay? Honestly, my big hope is that they put big sweet things in Historic as opposed to, like, I'd much prefer the sweet things in Historic are like go over the top type things as opposed to brutally efficient things. So I hope Historic in my mind, Historic should ideally be a format where games end somewhere between turns 5 and 8. If Historic was like a turn 5.5 format, that would be ideal in my opinion. You haven't approved a deck I submitted about a month ago. That probably means you got a response to your spam box. Because I respond to everything. And generally, I don't have any decks in my queue that have not been responded to yet. Yeah, I think a little bit slower than Modern. So like, Modern's not a turn 4 format. So before the Faithless Looting ban, I would refer to Modern as a, let's say, turn 2.5 format. Post Faithless Looting, Modern's still like a turn 3.5 format. That's not how that works. The internet told me Historic is horrible and WotC is horrible for doing it. Yeah. And maybe it's just because I'm a pessimist, but I think there's a good chance that, like, I feel like WotC is in this position where they have two options. They either have to make Historic less accessible than Standard by some metric, or they can't support it as much as they support Standard. So while I personally would like it if Historic was as cheap or cheaper than Standard, if it being more expensive means I get to actually play meaningful Historic events with some consistency, that's a trade-off I'm willing to take. If you came up to me and said, Jeff, would you rather Historic be cheap or Historic be more expensive and supported? I would choose more expensive and supported. And obviously, if they really wanted to, they could make it cheap and support it. But I think there's probably good business cases for them to not do that. Modern is wildly more popular than Standard, and it's way more expensive. So, you know. Nexus Vix, thank you for the 17 months of support. I appreciate that. This matchup probably pretty good for our deck. Like I mentioned when we were playing against Death Shadow, matches where Lightning Bolt and Abrade are meaningful interaction, this archetype tends to be very reasonable, and that's definitely a matchup where our 3 damage removal is superb. That is a Drawn from Dreams or a Fish Through Time. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck and take 2. Hey, Tuber, thanks for the 5 months. If you didn't catch the Legacy League this morning, it's definitely worth watching. It was a good set. Thanks for the 11 months, Pithy. I am a little bit sad that we have to wait till November to get meaningful Historic, but I'll survive. It's coming eventually. Yeah, I feel like there's people who think they should be able to, like, get a deck instantly for free without putting any dollars in. I don't know. The only reason free to play exists in games like these is so the whales have enough people to play with so they don't become bored. That's the only reason these games have a free to play option. Yeah. The second reason is that free-to-play gives some people a taste and then turns them into whales, but in large part, free-to-play exists so whales can be satisfied. When you stream for a day and don't pick a deck of the day, does that mean they're all poop? Usually, it means none of them were very interesting. Occasionally, it means that I forgot to tag one, because sometimes I forget to tag them, but usually it was a conscious choice. So, Wizards of the Coast announced that Historic on Arena is going to require double wild cards to craft specific cards that aren't standard legal anymore. So if you're someone who's a completionist anyways, and you're buying full sets of cards on Arena, this change doesn't impact you because you have full sets for Historic anyways. But if you're someone that was planning to buy into Historic with just a deck or two, getting in for that deck or two is going to cost you more. There's going to be some random thumps above our heads here today because my wife and children are home because it's a holiday in the US. Yeah, I agree, Garden Variety Troll. And for the record, I think most of the models, games like Hearthstone follow and Arena follow, I think most of them are kind of predatory. But I also think as someone who spent thousands of dollars on both Hearthstone and now Arena, what I get for my thousands of dollars on Arena is better than Hearthstone to set a low bar. Yeah, Hern Cute. People think they should be entitled to play everything for no dollars. I don't know. It's probably in part just because I'm so used to playing, like, I should have gotten a forest. Just because I'm so used to playing Magic formats and not having Magic formats be for every player. But like, you know, that's something we say a lot on this stream, right? Like, not every Magic format is for every player. Like, there's formats that I have no interest in playing, and that's fine. That's you know, how it works. One of the things the Arena system does really well that I think is smart is once you have your first deck built in Arena, because it doesn't allow you to dust extra things, you incidentally have a bunch of cards for other decks, which then incentivize you to either grind a bit or put a little bit more money in to get the next deck. So once you have a little bit, it's easier to get more. Your nth plus one deck always costs you less money to build than your nth deck did. The way the Arena system works, which I think is an incredibly smart way to put it together. All right, so if they have anything, we're probably dead here, but we can't beat stuff. Don't play around things you can't beat. We got really fortunate to beat Shadow in the first match today, but like I mentioned during that match, I expect this matchup to be very bad for our deck. Yeah, and now, asterisk, I know I play a ton of Arena, obviously, because it's my job, but every time a new set drops on Arena, I frequently have enough gold to buy 50 or 60 packs with it, and you only need 200 packs to have a complete set on Arena, so, like, I have enough packs without putting any more money in to have a quarter of the cards in the game, a quarter of the cards in that set, so, like, you know. If you're someone who spends 50 bucks a set, you know, 200 bucks a year on a hobby is pretty low. You're gonna have most of the cards. So, again, this is a matchup where our Lightning Bolts basically don't have text. Kiora is a piece of soft removal. One of the things that's a little bit awkward about this archetype is that Magmatic Sinkhole is actually a great addition to these blue decks, there are these red decks because it lets you kill bigger things, but this deck, because its mana base has such strict requirements, can't really play enough fetch lands. It doesn't play enough other cheap spells to be able to play multiple of these delve spells efficiently. If I've got an opinion on something, you probably know what that opinion is if you've watched this stream enough. I'm not shy. We hit all the topics here. Yep. I think just like in this matchup, we're frequently just like a bad red-green Valakut deck. We just want to race to the finish line. It's my opinion on Rugrats. I wasn't a really fan of, I'm not a big fan of the animation style of the early versions of that show, Marty. We're very pro science and statistics here, Troll. These are my cards. They're kind of all the same. Can I explain my opinion on the current state of American politics like it's 5? It's currently a dumpster fire. And the way in which you improve said dumpster fire is by treating everybody with decency and respect, regardless of what they look like, what they believe, who they love, or where they come from. And I think my 5-year-old would have understood what I just said. Maybe not the dumpster fire part. I could have just said it's bad and we can make it better by doing this. But it's really not that hard when you think about it. Hey, Skryel, thank you for the 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. We did. We almost 5-0'd. We had a pretty good run with the Legacy deck. The deck was doing, like, peak Legacy things. Looking for ramp spells. Looking for ramp spells. So this is 4 lands. This is 5 in suspend. This is 6. We're probably dead. And if they have a counterspell, we're definitely dead. If you talked with the kids yet about not lighting dumpsters on fire, Declan and I should probably have that conversation soon. We played a Death and Taxes-esque deck that was playing Mox Diamond and Chalice instead of Aether Vial. It was very reasonable. Yeah, just an onboard. Any advice before I fail? You know, I've actually never taken a chemistry class. My science electives were biology and like nature science type stuff. It's been a long time even since I did those. I think one of them was like a weather studies class, if I recall. I don't know. Gen Ed classes in undergrad are nonsense. Oh, I did take physics. Physics is applied calculus, that's true. Physics is applied calculus. Man, I just get to bottom this Valakut here. That's so busted. Things I never want in my opening hand. If I could just never draw a Valakut, that would be great. Jerry, the same people who feel the need for straight pride parades are the same types of idiots who think things like affirmative action is racism against white people, which is just nonsense. I think I want an Ice-Fang in the dark, although Island Slight maybe implies there are combo decks, so maybe Ice-Fang is worse. This thing can trip, so like the downside from keeping it is like pretty low. Physics is applied calculus, typical mathematician. It's impure is what it is, Quants. It's impure. Yeah, probabilistically Storm. Oh, you're gonna show me your TT's opponent. Ice-Fang. Ice-Fang is pretty decent against TT. Look at the draw an extra card later. Due to the DNC choosing which polls they allow. I think the DNC sets the rules. If you want to run as a Democrat, you're agreeing to run by the rules that they set. It's kind of like me going 7-3 in the Magic Online event yesterday and getting nothing. Like, it sucks, but I knew what I was getting into, so like... I'd also make the statement that not all polls, there's probably a lot of polls out there that you can't and shouldn't trust. So like, not accepting all of them probably makes sense to a degree. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not super educated or informed on the specifics of what you're asking. But in general, I could see there being valid reasons for ignoring certain polls. So I already have 2 more lands in play in my hand. So I think I'm just gonna take Cryptic Command plus a Tribe Elder here. Maybe I want to Remand to fight through a counterspell at some point. If you're not informed, just make it up. Yeah, I try not to subscribe to that school of thought. That's definitely a common school of thought in the US today. Just make it up. That's true, Dale. I think that's what it ends up being a lot of the time. And also, if I'm being honest, we're talking about the DNC and which polls they're allowing. I think the DNC did not set their standards high enough. In my opinion, the fact that there are still 10 people on the debate stage coming up means that the bar should have been higher. The herd needs to be thinned way more significantly than it already has. The children need to step down and let the adults actually have discussions. I was really hoping they'd have like 8 or less. Even 8's a lot. Yeah, I think that's not unreasonable, Sunhouse. They should still do 2 nights. I agree. It was 4 mana dig through time, Jerry. It was drawn from dreams. It's 4 mana dig. 4 mana sorcery speed dig. Yeah, that's the big one. It was another bad weekend in Texas. Let's vote blue in 2020 and make sure there's less bad weekends like that everywhere in the United States. Anyone who tries to tell you that guns aren't the actual problem with gun violence in the United States is either an idiot or a liar. And in either case, you shouldn't listen to or support them. Is he dead, Jim? Temur Battle Rage. Despite all the rage, he is still just a whore in a cage. Do 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 do. Who needs phoenixes, chat? Who needs phoenixes? I agree. There's way too many bad faith arguments that get presented when talking about tough topics like gun violence, where people make bad faith arguments around this idea that, like, if changing one thing doesn't fix this problem entirely, then that thing's not worth doing. People let perfect be the enemy of good too often. And like most complex issues, the solutions are iterative, where like you do them slowly over time to create progress. And that should be normal and expected, not a reason not to make a change. Oh, this is another matchup where, like, they have things... You know what? There should be some roasts in this 75. There should be some roasts in this 75. I was thinking I couldn't afford to play another Magmatic Sinkhole. The lack of roasts in this 75 is a mistake. That's a comment for the wrap-up. There should be roasts in my 75. Yeah, and all you have to know to know that, like, certain people in the gun politics in the United States are arguing in bad faith and are just bought and paid for by the NRA, because the same people who tell you it's not a gun problem, it's a mental health problem, are also people who don't give more mental health resources. So, like, if you actually truly believe in your heart of hearts that it's a mental health problem and not a gun problem, you should at least be making a good faith effort. It's not a mental health problem. I agree. That is not the case. But if you're at least going to try and make that argument, you need to at least in good faith try to address it. And they don't do that because they're not arguing in good faith. They're just lying to you because they're bought and paid for by the NRA. All right, breeding pool sounds great. Suspend my search for tomorrow. Yeah, roast. Someone asked for fry versus roast. Roast is much better because Gurmag Angler and 5 toughness Death Shadows are a big deal. Yeah, I'm aware of the statistics, and just so my position is abundantly clear, I am firmly on the side of it's not a mental health problem, because that's not what the statistics and the metrics say compared to every other country in the world, right? But I was just pointing out that the people who are saying that are saying it from a fundamentally bad faith position. They're saying it as a scapegoat and not because they're committed to trying to address it. And those are the types of people who you should ignore and vote out in 2020. Yeah, I'm just gonna opt here rather than Remand, I think. It's the video games, yeah. Yeah, that's another excellent scapegoat. Would I ever own a gun? No, I have no reason to own a gun. And I live in a house with 2 small children. I like the people who are like, I'm a responsible gun owner. I have it for self-defense, but I keep it locked up at home so my children aren't at risk. It's like, well, if it's for self-defense, if your house ever gets broken into, what do? You ask the burglar to, like, stop because you got to go get your gun out of the safe. So, like, even that's a pretty bad faith position to be in. Kiln Fiend, eh? Okay. Interesting. That explains the Temur battle rages with the thing in the ice. What about the 30? Listen, there's a cornfield behind my house, All right, check out this sick line. Let's remand my Bolt and then re-Bolt in response to this mutagenic growth. I played 2 remands in Blue-Red Delver this weekend. Remand's not an amazing card, but it's definitely a fun card. It creates a lot of really sweet lines like that. Completely agree, Trey. Yeah, I think we're still in a position where Remand's fine. They're only on 3 lands, so like remanding a 2-drop still like pretty good here. Huh. Enigma Drake's another sweet one. Opponent's deck looks awesome. Cryptic Command is also a decent pickup, right? So we're just, at this point, we're just kind of in the treading water portion of the game because we've hit 7 lands now. So now, this is actually the first game where we haven't had Scapeshift when we got to this many lands. So we're just like waiting on Scapeshift to show up. That's another card that draws a card. I'm gonna do this now, just in case we draw Scapeshift. We can shock and Stomping Ground and kill them, assuming there's no Force of Negation. These are my snakes. Baby snake do 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 do. Baby snake do 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 do. Baby snake. Do 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 do. I apologize to all the parents out there. You can suffer with that in your head for the next hour. Man, we're gonna die to another Temur Battle Rage, aren't we? It's unfortunate. Another good example of a matchup where Lightning Bolt just like not being real removal is a pretty unfortunate letdown. Like the fact that like Ice-Fang is a pseudo removal spell that gets taken out of the way by other people's removal really sucks. Sweet, they don't have a TBR. Miracles do happen, chat. Yay, we did it! I'm gonna bolt this first in case they have a Force of Negation to try and bait them. Oh man. Oh man. Can we go back to a simpler modern time where when my opponent was tapped out, they just died? I miss my opponent just dying when they were tapped out. Maybe they still don't have a TBR. Go fish! Go fish! Lucky, lucky, lucky. Lucky, lucky, lucky. That's 6 lands. Sure. Seven land cards. Valakut and a bunch of mountains, please. This will deal 36 to my opponent. We dodged. We dodged a Temur Battle Rage. We can dodge a ball, chat. You can dodge a Temur Battle Rage. You can dodge a ball. The top was, in fact, just running Scapeshift. To be, in my defense, we were through half of our deck. And, like, if we didn't hit a Scapeshift, a Drawn from Dreams also would have gotten us there, most likely. So, like, we had a lot of live draws there, in my defense. I think I want Dispel and these Abrades in my deck, since they're playing, I didn't know they were on Kiln Fiend game 1, so having more ways to kill Kiln Fiend sounds ideal. Yeah, scene sounds great. Got an opt into an Ice-Fang. I'm going to draw some lands and ramp spells, but that makes up a large portion of our deck. We've got some redraws here. That is correct, Maestro WoW. And even if you could ping Elder before they sacrifice it, they would just sacrifice it in response to you pinging it, because its ability is an instant speed. Would Firespout help kill their Drakes? Not really. It only does 3 damage. Drakes are X4s. Do you think that makes Thing in the Ice, Josh? What do we think? Is Thing in the Ice or is Kiln Fiend, Josh? Stacko, thank you for the 3rd of a year of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I don't have a red source yet, but I think this is one of our best cards in the matchup, and I only have one of them in my deck, so I'm going to keep it. This deck does not play that many fetch lands. Too much dog. So we only have 4 fetch lands. So while Ren and 6 helping us hit land drops would be ideal, it's difficult to build this mana base in a way that can support ramp spells and have enough mountains and have enough fetch lands. It's a lot of things that you have to be beholden to, basically. So I do this. The question is, do I want to... I think I just suspend this. And just hold up Dispel this turn. We're at a point in Modern where Lightning Bolt is only acceptable removal if you expect to be aiming upstairs a portion of the time. No, I don't think that's true. I think there's a lot of decks in Modern where Lightning Bolt is good removal. It's just we've hit a number of them in this league where that's not the case. Is the way it works out. That's just like how Magic... That's how playing interactive decks in Modern works a lot of the time. You're just crossing your fingers and hoping that your removal lines up into whatever the opponent is doing. It's frequently not going to do that for you, and that's sad and it sucks, but, you know. I went 7-3 yesterday with... I went 7-3 yesterday with Blue-Red Delver in the Modern MCQ. And I think I played the deck in the MCQ playing 0 games beforehand. I just like theory crafted a list and got the cards and played. And I think if I would have hedged the burn matchup more, I probably would have done better. 2 of my losses were to burn. And that's just how it goes. Yep. We're gonna fetch mountains with Tribe Elder and oh, am I dead? I might be dead. I have a mutagenic growth. We're dead to bolt next turn. If I draw a land, are they dead? No, they're at 19. Oh my god, I just clicked the wrong land. Yikes. Yikes. Whoops. I think we were dead anyways, if they have a way to protect this, but... Or a bolt. Obviously should have gotten a mountain there. So... We start with this. Yeah, I tweeted a deck list. I can Scapeshift them to 1. Because remember, 7 land Scapeshift only does so much. I think I get backup Scapeshift, Sakura-Tribe Elder. And then hope I don't die this turn, have double Scapeshift next turn. Yes, that's a good line, Deggles. If I had saved the Sakura-Tribe Elder, I could have had drawing a land as an out. That's a really good catch. So they were at 19 and my 7 land Scapeshift could do 18. They didn't have a blocker. So if I would have not sacrificed my previous Elder on their end step, I could have attacked them for 1. And then I would have searched, played a land, and then sacrificed. That's a good catch. So I'm pretty sure they didn't have Force of Negation there. Maybe they did and we were dead anyways. But if they didn't have Force of Negation, I could have won that game with better play, which is a good thing to point out. And we're 2-2. So we said we were expecting to go 2-3. So we're on target for expectations here. Maybe we could exceed expectations. Wizard's Lightning is great. The what's it called deck? The blue-red Delver deck is basically a burn deck with counterspells. All it does not kill lands. Lands are colorless, Maestro. Except for Dryad Arbor, lands are colorless. Actually, Jeff, Dryad Arbor. Chef Seth, thanks for the big tip. For Modern, Neoform, and Standard Sultai Vow. Can you DM me, Seth, and let me know how you want to split that donation up between the 2 of those? I appreciate the support. Thank you. With the Modern format challenge being this weekend, I'm probably going to play some Blue-Red Delver this week, so we can try and make some changes. The Grixis Shadow matchup with that deck can be hard. The Wurza matchup also felt challenging. Will do, Seth. Sounds good. CBC Spartans, thanks for the 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Okay, Ramp Mirror, you say. Check out some of our options. Bottom that. Yay, ramp spells. Yay, ramp spells. Don't you want to ramp now? So, I don't think I have time to do commentary over them, but I I recorded my first 6 matches. I recorded until I was X and 2, because at X and 2 I was dead for top 8 contention. And then I played the rest out hoping to top 32, and then I died the last round and missed top 32 on tiebreakers, because sometimes Magic sucks. I should have listened to Matt and conceded after, and dropped after I lost the second one. Played 4 more matches for nothing. I'm gonna do this now, just in case we draw another Sakura-Tribe Elder. Well, alright, needed Scapeshift at some point. So they are unfortunately still at 20, because they're not a deck that deals damage to themselves. So unless we draw a Bolt, we're gonna need to get to 8 lands. Yeah, Soulscar Mage is okay against Shadow. I think I'm more worried about fixing the burn matchup than I am about fixing the shadow matchup, though. The burn matchup felt a lot closer than it should. It might be that I want to cut the 4th Fiery Isle. Alright, so I'm playing land 5. The next one I play land 6, and I could ramp into land 7. That's probably not quick enough. So I think I'm taking Cryptic Command and Search for Tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, Mystic Forge is probably one of your best cards against fair decks in the format. Oh, they don't have a Titan yet. That's really good for us. I was just expecting to get Titaned this turn. If they have to wait another turn to Titan us, this Cryptic Command can do stuff. So, I'd like the record to reflect that I'm enjoying Modern post-bannings than I was beforehand. But at the same time, it's important to be aware that Modern hasn't changed. Modern is still a format that is all about brutal efficiency. If your F&M happen to be more kind to people playing dirtily decks, that's great. But like F&Ms have been like that for forever. Like that's not a thing that's unique to the change that just happened. Like Burn was like the best performing deck at the Open. Had a ton of results. That dark type is very good. Burn's a deck that we've frequently said in the past is tough to keep up with when they only draw 3 or 4 lands. And playing 5+ cycle lands means they frequently only draw 3 or 4 lands. Man. Every time your Cryptic Command actually has text against Primeval Titan decks, it's a good feeling. Like, oh look, I actually get to counter your spell. Hey, Packers fan, thanks for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people you can ship that to every single month on Twitch. Thanks for sending it my way this month. If you're someone who's a fan of Modern, we're going to be doing a little bit of extra Modern on this channel between now and rotation happens at the end of the month. So I'm going to be doing a minimum of 2 Modern leagues per day. Or Moto/Modern League. So we did a Legacy League to start today. But then we're also going to be doing all Modern on Wednesday this week. Alright, that's 8 lands, right? So they're dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, we just Scapeshift for 6 mountains here. And there's 7 mountains left in my deck because there's 1 in play and 2 in my hand. Do a Rush Limb Bomb. I'm going to be honest, I don't know what that person sounds like offhand. Think fatter Sean Hannity. Okay. And for the record, record, our opponents keep making us show them the mountains. If you're playing against Scapeshift on Magic Online, you should make them put the mountains into play because they could theoretically not have enough mountains left in their deck to kill you, but don't make them click through putting all the triggers in the stack. So I really appreciate the people who are like, they're making us show them the mountains, but they're not making us actually sit there and target them a bunch of times and do tedious extra stuff. Because once they're in play, they know they're dead. But making us show them that they're dead is not unreasonable. Alright, so Abrade kills Amulet and some of their dorks. Ice-Fang Coatl is actually really bad here, right? We'll leave a couple of bolts in because they kill Azuzas and stuff. What do we think of this? Where in the client do I see how many tickets I have? In the collection tab, there's an other option. Other products here in the top left shows you avatars, tickets, and treasure chests, and these format points. Alright, let's do it. I bet this matchup isn't too terrible for us. It probably gets worse when they draw their Cavern of Souls, but they don't have Cavern, we're probably in a decent spot. Nah, I don't think Cindervines is very meaningful. Nothing about Magic Online is intuitive. Magic Online is a very reasonable client when it comes to emulating paper Magic, but that is the absolutely only thing it is good at. Everything else tends to suck in a variety of ways. One of the reasons why Magic Arena is so great is because it innovates and does things that are just good user experiences. Which is much needed. Hey, awesome, Packers. I appreciate you taking the time to do that. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Good to have you here. It's true. Arena's not perfect, but a lot of what it does, honestly, the auto tapper is the biggest improvement, right? The rate of play in Arena, as opposed to the cumbersome formal priority system, it's night and day. Double Amulet. All right, probably dead. So I definitely want to hold Remand up this turn. Yeah, Stone, like I've been saying for literal years at this point, Stoneforge was a good addition to Modern because it's a card that's just an appropriate power level for the format. It's not overbearing. It encourages people to be a little bit interactive. And it's not overbearing, encourages people to be a little bit interactive, and like, people who love this card can play it, and people who don't love it are not obligated to play it. Show me Primeval Titan. Can we get double Titaned here? They have 5. This is 9, 10, 11. They can't quite double Titan us yet, so that's good. Glass half full, can't get double Titaned. Did they post the results from the MCQ yet? The standard MCQ, the modern MCQ is not up yet. It probably won't get posted because today's the holiday. Did they make all their land drops for the turn? They have one more land drop, right? So they're dead, right? We bolt this and they die? Because they have to pay for a Summoner's Pact next turn? I believe they have died. Survey says, Papi! You can solidly stamp the exceeds expectations in the corner for this deck list. Got the old 3-2 instead of the 2-3. Feels good, man. Dig Through, Fish Through Time was pretty reasonable as a slot in replacement for Dig Through Time when that card was a card in this format. I think my one big thought takeaway from what I would change in here is I want at least a pair of roasts in the sideboard, not only for the random thing in the ice decks, those are a little bit less popular now with the looting ban, but Death Shadow is a pretty popular deck, and this card totally slipped my mind as a card I should be playing. So I think I would cut this Firespout, and then maybe the Cindervines or one of these counter spells and get a pair of roasts in here. And then post board, we'd have a Sinkhole, 2 roasts, and a Kiora as ways to answer bigger threats, which would be ideal. But overall, you know, I also think this is our first time playing blue Scapeshift with Ice-Fang Coatl. And this card was a reasonable upgrade as well. It's a little bit awkward sometimes when your removal spell dies to their removal spell, but the fact that this card draws a card, it helps keep our critical mass engine churning is really good. Yeah, maybe the 4th Fish Through Time is overkill. I don't know. I was never really unhappy to draw them. This deck has a lot of mana. I don't know. It depends on if you want to gamble, Psycho Smurf. So I'm currently sitting on... To tell you my insights into the Moto economy, treasure chests tend to go up in value around set releases. So I'm currently sitting on 72 treasure chests here. So because I have 200 play points at the moment, I will likely not sell my treasure chests unless I need the tickets until the next set drops, when their value will likely go back up closer to 2.4 or 2.5. So unless you need the tickets, I'd recommend holding on to them until hodl your treasure chest until the set drops, and you can drop them for better value. Obviously, if you need the money, you should sell them rather than giving Moto more. What's the process selling chests for money? Well, so you can turn treasure chests into tickets with various vendors and bot chains, and then you can sell tickets to other people, or people like my sponsor, MTGO Traders, pay cash for tickets. Hashtag sponsored. I haven't played any Scapeshift since the Snake was printed, so I don't know that I have a good baseline comparison of what Bring to Light lists look like. Like, Scapeshift in general is a pretty tier 2, tier 3 strategy, so there aren't really established, defined versions of these things. Some Snapcaster could be interesting. I just copied a random list that 5-0'd and added... copies of Fish Through Time to it. Dino's not legal yet, right? Life Gain Dino is not legal till the 4th, if I recall. So I don't need to change anything. When Life Gain Dino becomes legal, I think we're gonna cut the disfigures from the main for cast downs to have a hedge against that, but in the meantime, in between time. Unholy Face. Towards your favorite deck that wins games. Thank you for the very generous tier 3 and for the 11 months at that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one. It's Grizzly. Welcome. Thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for shipping your Bezo Bucks this way this month and keeping me around. For folks that are just interested in Magic Online and Modern content, I'll be back with some more Modern tomorrow morning, about 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to do 2.5, 3 hours of Magic Arena to wrap things up here. The ladder just reset, so Standard hasn't changed, but we've got a new ladder to climb up. Awesome, Unholy Face. I'm glad